Hello and welcome to our channel, a place where simple stories bring deep meaning. Here, we share powerful journeys from the past that teach us something valuable for life today. Every story is told in very simple English, so you can listen, understand, and feel every word. Today's story is very special. It is not just a story, it is a journey of a young prince who had everything, but still was not happy. He left his golden palace, walked through forests, slept under trees, and searched for the truth of life. This is the story of Buddha, a man who gave up comfort to find peace, a man who became a light for the whole world. Let's begin this beautiful journey, the story of how a prince became the Buddha. Long ago, in a beautiful land called Lumbini, a prince was born. His name was Siddhartha. His father was a great king, and his mother was a kind and gentle queen. The people were happy. They believed this baby would become someone very special. One night before Siddhartha was born, the queen had a dream. In the dream, a white elephant came to her and entered her side. Wise people said, "This baby will be either a great king or a great saint." The king smiled. He wanted his son to be the greatest king in the world. Soon, the baby was born. The queen named him Siddhartha, which means one who brings good. Everyone in the palace was happy. The child looked peaceful and full of light, but sadly, after some time, Queen Maya, Siddhartha's mother, passed away. Siddhartha was raised by his aunt who loved him like her own child. He grew up inside the royal palace, surrounded by comfort, joy, and many servants. The king didn't want Siddhartha to see any sadness in the world. He thought, if my son sees pain, he might leave the palace and become a saint. So he gave orders. No old people, no sick people, no dead bodies. Nothing sad should be shown to the prince. The young prince grew up in a golden cage, a beautiful place with music, games, and gardens. He had everything: soft clothes, tasty food, teachers, and friends. But inside, Siddhartha felt something was missing. He didn't know what it was. One day, Siddhartha married a kind and lovely princess named Yashodhara. Soon they had a baby boy named Rahul. The king was happy. He thought, now my son will stay forever. But one day, everything changed. Siddhartha asked his charioteer, Channa, "Can we go outside the palace? I want to see my kingdom." The king didn't like the idea, but he agreed. He ordered the streets to be cleaned. Only young and happy people were allowed to be seen. Siddhartha sat in a beautiful chariot and went out for the first time, but something happened. On the way, he saw a man who was bent and weak. His hair was white, his hands were shaking. Siddhartha asked, "What is wrong with this man?" Channa replied, "My lord, he is old. All people grow old one day." Siddhartha was shocked. He had never seen old age. He whispered, "So, this will happen to me too?" Channa nodded. Siddhartha became quiet. The next day, he went out again. This time he saw a man coughing and crying in pain. "What is this?" he asked. "He is sick," said Channa. "Sometimes people fall ill." Siddhartha was again shocked. "So people suffer?" Channa nodded again. "Yes, even kings." Another day, Siddhartha saw something even worse: a dead man being carried by people. Some were crying. Some looked scared. Siddhartha stepped down. "Is he sleeping?" "No," said Channa. "He is dead. One day, all people must die." Siddhartha's heart felt heavy. He had seen old age, sickness, and death. 3 things he never knew. On the last trip, he saw something peaceful, a monk with a shaved head and orange robe. The monk had no fear, no pain, only calm eyes and a smile. "Who is he?" Siddhartha asked. Channa replied, "He is a monk. He left everything to find truth." Siddhartha thought deeply. He said nothing on the way back. That night, he could not sleep. For the first time, he had seen real life, full of pain and change, and he knew he could not stay in the palace forever. Siddhartha had seen the truth of life, old age, sickness, death. These things were not part of his golden palace, but now he had seen them, and he could not forget them. That night, Siddhartha sat quietly in the palace garden. The moon was full, the stars were bright, but inside his heart, there was a storm. He thought again and again, why do people suffer? Why do we get old? Why do we fall sick? Why do we die? He looked at the sleeping palace. His wife, Yashodhara, was resting with their little baby, Rahul. He loved them both, but his heart wanted something more, the truth. He thought, if I stay here, I will become king, but people will still suffer. I want to find a way to end that pain. That night, Siddhartha made a big decision. He would leave everything, the palace, the crown, his family, even his name. He went quietly to his room. He looked at his wife and son. They were sleeping peacefully. Siddhartha whispered, "Please forgive me. One day I will come back, not as a prince, but as someone who has found the way." He took off his royal clothes. He wore simple clothes of a traveler. He went to his horse Kanthaka and called his loyal friend, the charioteer Channa. "Take me far from the palace," Siddhartha said. The night was dark. No one saw them leave. The world was asleep. Only the moon watched them. They crossed rivers and forests. After many miles, they stopped. Siddhartha got down from his horse. He hugged Kanthaka and said, "Thank you, my friend." He gave Channa his royal ornaments and said, "Go back, tell my father I am safe." "But now my journey begins," Channa cried. "Please don't leave alone." But Siddhartha smiled gently. "I must go alone. The truth cannot be found in gold and comfort." Siddhartha shaved his head. He gave away his fine clothes. Now he looked like a monk, simple, peaceful, and full of purpose. He walked through villages and forests. People looked at him with wonder. "Isn't he the prince?" they whispered. But Siddhartha did not stop. He ate little, slept under trees, and asked wise men questions. He met many teachers. Some taught him about the soul, some taught him about meditation. He listened, he learned. But still, something was missing. Siddhartha tried hard. He stopped eating. He sat for hours in deep silence. His body became thin, like a stick, but still, he did not find peace. One day, after many years, he thought, "Hurting my body is not the way. Enjoying too much is not the way. I must walk the middle path, not too soft, not too hard." That day, a kind village girl saw him sitting under a tree. His body was weak. She gave him a bowl of rice milk. Siddhartha accepted it. The monks around him were shocked. You are eating? You have failed, they said. They left him. But Siddhartha felt stronger. For the first time, he felt calm. Not because of pain, not because of pleasure, but because of balance. He walked to a place called Bodh Gaya. There, under a big tree, now called the Bodhi tree, he sat down. He said to himself, I will not get up until I find the truth, even if I sit here forever. The sun rose. The Bai winds blew, but Siddhartha sat like a rock, still, calm, focused. Something big was about to happen. The night was quiet. Siddhartha sat under the big Bodhi tree. The air was cool. The sky was dark. But inside Siddhartha's heart, there was a deep fire, the fire to find the truth. He sat cross-legged. He closed his eyes, and he made a strong promise to himself. I will not move from this place until I find the answer to all suffering. The hours passed. The night grew deeper. All around him the forest slept. But Siddhartha stayed still, like a mountain. As he sat, he faced something powerful. Mara, the Lord of Desire and Fear. Mara didn't want Siddhartha to find the truth. He wanted to stop him. Mara sent many tricks. First, he sent beautiful dancers to distract Siddhartha. They danced with music and charm, but Siddhartha did not open his eyes. His mind was clear. Then Mara sent storms, wind, rain, and fire. But the flames could not touch Siddhartha. The rain could not break his peace. Then Mara tried his strongest weapon, fear. He showed scary images. He shouted, You are just a man. Who do you think you are to find the truth? But Siddhartha slowly touched the earth with his right hand. He said gently, This earth is my witness. I have lived with kindness. I have searched with honesty, and I am ready. And the earth shook slightly like it agreed. Mara had no more power. He disappeared into the dark. Now. Siddhartha was alone again. But inside him, something was changing. He sat through the deep night. He went deep into his thoughts. He looked at his life, and all life. He remembered all his past lives, not one, but hundreds. He saw how beings are born, live, and die again and again in a circle called samsara. He saw the reason behind all suffering. People want things. They cling to things. They fear change. And because of that, they suffer. He understood this clearly, like the sun rising after a long night. And at that moment, as the first light of dawn touched the sky, Siddhartha opened his eyes. He smiled gently. He was not just a man now. He was the Buddha, the awakened one, the one who had seen the truth. The sun rose in the east. The birds sang. The tree under which he sat glowed with peace. Even nature celebrated this great moment. The Buddha now understood what causes suffering and how to end it. He saw the four noble truths. Suffering is part of life. Suffering comes from desire and attachment. We can end suffering. There is a path to end it, the middle path, and this path has 8 steps, the eightfold path, a life of balance, kindness, truth, and deep understanding. The Buddha did not jump with joy. He just sat quietly, smiling. He felt peace, peace beyond words. But now, he had a new thought. I must share this truth. I must help others wake up too. He waited under the tree for a few more days. After becoming the Buddha, Siddhartha sat under the Bodhi tree for many days. His face was calm, his eyes were gentle. He had no fear, no anger, no confusion, only peace. Birds came close to him. Even wild animals sat near him. Nature could feel his calmness, but the Buddha was thinking deeply. I have found the truth, but how do I share it? Will anyone understand? Then he heard a voice inside his heart. The voice said, some people are ready, some hearts are open. Even if only a few understand, teach them. Help them walk the path. The Buddha smiled. He knew his next step. He would teach. He stood up and began to walk. His feet touched the earth lightly. Every step was full of purpose. He remembered the 5 monks who had been with him before. They had left him when he accepted food. They thought he had failed. But the Buddha knew they were still searching, and maybe now they were ready. He walked many days. Finally, he reached a peaceful place called Sarnath. There, under some trees in a quiet park, he saw them, the 5 monks, sitting together, meditating, waiting. When they saw Buddha coming, they whispered, there he is, Siddhartha. He left the path. We should not respect him. But as he came closer, they felt something different. His walk was light. His eyes were shining with wisdom. His face had a calm beauty. They stood up. They greeted him with folded hands. The Buddha sat down with them. He smiled and said, I have found the middle path. Not too hard, not too soft. I have found a way that ends suffering. The monks listened. The Buddha then gave his first teaching. It is called the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. It means turning the wheel of Dharma. He shared the 4 noble truths again. Life has suffering. Suffering comes from desire and craving. We can end suffering. There is a path, the middle way, to end suffering. Then he shared the 8-fold path. 8 steps to live a good and peaceful life. Right understanding. Know the truth. Right thought. Think kind and honest thoughts. Right speech. Speak kindly and truthfully. Right action. Do good things. Right livelihood. Do honest work. Right effort. Try to improve. Right mindfulness. Be aware of your thoughts and actions. Right concentration. Focus your mind through meditation. The 5 monks were silent. They had never heard such deep truth in such simple words. Their hearts opened. Their minds became clear. Slowly, one by one, they began to understand. And that day, they became the first followers of the Buddha, the first Sangha, the community of monks. This was the beginning of something big. From 1 teacher and 5 students, a light began to spread. From that day, the Buddha walked from village to village. He had no money, no throne, no army, just a bowl, a robe, and a heart full of love. He taught kings and beggars, women and men, old and young, anyone who wanted to learn. He didn't ask people to follow him blindly. He said, don't believe just because I say it. Think, question, understand for yourself. He taught for one reason, to help people end suffering and live with peace. Buddha now had a path. He had a truth. And he had 5 followers who had found peace through his words. But he did not stop there. No, the Buddha kept walking. through forests, villages, cities. He walked with bare feet, carrying only a bowl and wearing a simple robe. He did not go to collect things. He went to give something: peace, kindness, truth. Everywhere he went, people came to listen. Some were rich, some were poor, some were kings, some were farmers. But in front of Buddha, all were equal. He spoke slowly, with a soft voice. His words were clear and gentle, like the wind that moves through trees. People felt calm when they sat near him. Some cried, some smiled, some closed their eyes and listened deeply. He told them, "You are not your pain. You are not your anger. You are more than your fear." He helped them see that inside every person there is a light, and through the middle path, that light can shine. The teachings spread soon. More people became monks and nuns. They wore simple robes. They ate one meal a day. They had no money, no home, but they were happy, truly happy. They spent their days walking, meditating, teaching. They did not force anyone to believe. They only shared what they had seen. One day, a young prince came to Buddha. He had everything: gold, clothes, power, but no peace. He asked, "Why am I not happy, even when I have everything?" Buddha said, "Because your mind is full of desire. Desire is like a cup with a hole. No matter how much you pour in, it is never full." The prince listened. His eyes opened. He gave up his crown and became a monk. Kings and common people, even great kings, heard about Buddha. One king asked him, "You don't have guards, no palace. Aren't you afraid walking alone?" The Buddha smiled. "When your heart is without hate, the world becomes your home." This touched the king's heart. He offered land for the monks. It became one of the first monasteries, a quiet place for learning, thinking, and peace. From that place, the message grew. It crossed rivers, it climbed mountains, it moved from village to village, like a lamp lighting other lamps. And soon, the teachings were no longer just Buddha's. They became a gift to the world. The gentle end. The Buddha lived for 80 years. He never went back to being a prince. He never asked for anything. He lived with kindness until his last breath. One evening, he lay down under 2 trees. His students sat near him quietly. He smiled and said, "Everything that is born must end, but the truth remains. Be a light to yourself. Walk the path with awareness. Help others. Be kind." And with that, he closed his eyes and entered a deep final peace. The message lives on. The Buddha was gone, but his message, it stayed. His words, his smile, his path, they still live today, in every act of kindness, in every peaceful heart, in every step taken with love. What can we learn? Buddha's life was simple, but his message is powerful. You don't need much to be happy. You only need a peaceful heart. You don't need to run away from the world. You just need to see clearly, walk kindly, and live wisely. This is the story of the Buddha, not a god, not a magician, but a man who woke up and helped others wake up too.